Shams with a little buzzkill yesterday on the Pat McAfee Show, and changes may be coming to the Boston Celtics. We talked about this earlier. But I mean, if Jason Tatum is your guy, then it's got to be you have to go forward with maybe one J and not both J's, and you'll find out if Jason Tatum is the guy.
I am officially against this in any capacity. I will not give the new ownership the pass of what the CBA means. I have the Celtics draft history right in front of me.
Yeah.
So you heard him say they could freeze draft picks. Ooh, boy. So since the Celtics drafted Jason Tatum in 2017, that is 8 years ago, there is one player that the Celtics drafted that is a contributing member to the team, and that's Peyton Pritchard. He was drafted 26th overall 5 years ago. So if you lose your draft picks, you're going to be picking 29th or 30th every year anyway.
It doesn't matter anyway.
I don't care. Pay the effing tax.
Yeah.
This team is ready-made with the best players being in the middle of their prime or entering their prime.
Right.
I don't get, Wiggy is okay with it if they win it this year. Wiggy's okay with it. I'm not okay with it. If you win it this year, that means to me you have to keep the band together. I
don't think he's saying he's okay with it.
No, I'm not okay with it. I'm saying that if you win a back-to-back,
it's more likely.
It's more likely, and it lessens the blow because you're not going from being one of the better teams in the NBA to, all right, now they traded all these guys and it's just Jason Tatum. They stink that's not going to be the thing. The thing is going to be, he said 5 guys. That's basically your 5 starters. That's the 2 J's, Porzingis, Derek White, and Drew Holiday. So in order for it to work moving forward, you as an organization have to say, okay, do we potentially keep the J's and lose the other 3, and then we plug, P. Pritch becomes a starter, then we find another,
I'm just the concept of the big 3.
Right.
Wherever that is, I guess, maybe not going to be something that is sustainable in the NBA going forward because of the collective bargaining agreement. Now, I would guess that the Lakers are going to do everything that they possibly can to line their big 3 up.
Yeah, it's about it can be done, but the owner's got to be willing to pay the taxes and penalties and the payroll. But generally, you see, Golden State's owner did it because he knew they built a new arena in San Francisco. The Lakers are able to do it because they own their arena. This owner might say, well, we're not going to do it because guess what? We have to pay rent every single year, and who knows what that costs. So that might be a factor on we need to trim some of that payroll so we can get that number lower.
Curtis wanted us to put a poll up this morning, and we did, and 121 votes in, and would you be okay with major changes to the Celtics roster this offseason? And as you would imagine, 67.8% are not okay with those changes. So,
I do wish we had added if they won a championship.
If it makes a difference.
Yeah, if it makes a difference. But I'm with Greg. But in Wiggy, I understand you saying you wouldn't be okay with it, but it does seem like you would rather bring in a Giannis.
Yeah, that's what he wants.
Right.
No, but you have to do that to still be competitive, right? You have to do that. If you can't pay the starting 5 because they're all making over $28 million, you have to figure out and say, okay, what is that? Who are we willing to lose so we can lower that number, and then who can we bring in to still keep us competitive to compete for a championship?
I was talking to a guy last night who loves Jason Tatum and Giannis together. If you could ever make that happen, doesn't care if that means that Jaylen Brown is gone, if that means that Kristaps Porzingis is gone, doesn't matter. And that guy's mine.
But if you're the Celtics ownership and front office and you're Brad Stevens, you have to start looking. If the new owner's saying to you, we're not paying this, we have to figure it out. You now have to look and say what's important.
And I would also say this, Greg, I don't want the media, I know Comcast, I know the rights holders, I know the people out there will talk about this like it's a fait accompli, that they have to do this to remain viable. Unless the new owners show me their spreadsheets and say this is what money we're losing, I don't believe it.
Yeah.
And there's nothing you can tell me that they could do that would jeopardize this run that was years in the making to get this collection of guys together under contract in Boston for this period.
But to be clear with the direction that they're going to go in, they're now using the basketball penalty portion.
Right.
The second apron. It's not the money. It's the penalty that the team is going
what puts you into the second apron? Spending money.
Yes.
Right. So this is a rule that the owners, Wick, all the owners of the NBA, put into place. So if you go to the ATM and you take out $500 and you go out and you're gambling and you tell Brees, we only have $500.
Yeah.
That's true, but you could have taken out more than $500. It's not the only thing you have in your bank account.
Yeah.
And so I just don't believe the owners. If you're going to tell me that you're buying this team at the top of its value at $6 billion and your first act is to cut costs, then I say you're full of crap.
Right.
This is Bill in the car. Bill, good morning.
Good morning, guys. I just wanted to say that they should leave it together and just win about 5 or 6 in a row, and then they'll be worth even more.
Yeah, I your lips to Bill Chisholm's ears, I guess.
If Bill Chisholm had Jeff Bezos' money, maybe he does it. But does it seem like, all right, if you're cutting costs, don't you look and go, okay, well, I mean, I got money. Don't get it twisted. I'm not saying he don't got money, but he's like, don't have that funny money, where Bezos is like, all right, I'm paying the luxury tax.
Not many people do. I mean, it's really Bezos and Elon.
Yeah.
But again, like, you're spending. This happens if you're going to pay the most ever for an NBA franchise, $6 billion. Then you're either going to be all in and spend whatever it takes, or you're going to find a way to make that work for you.
Because if Sham's saying it, right, isn't he hearing whispers from what potentially the people in the front office of the Celtics are thinking?
Well, I don't know. Kind of the way he said it, he's kind of like hearing it around the league. Like, the league is saying there's no way they can keep this going, and there's no way that they can keep doing this. But Curtis is right. They can do it as long as they want.
Curtis was also right, though. It's interesting timing for this to come out.
Of course.
So,
the day that they approve the sale, now we're past the point of no return. The most plugged-in guy in the sport's telling you what their plans are.
Yeah.
This is Scott from Westford. Hey, Scott, what's going on?
Good morning. How are you?
We're doing great. We're in Springfield, Massachusetts. Good morning.
Love it.
Great road
Love
show
it.
attendance. Great crowd last night at Taps. We're awesome, Scott.
I can't wait to go body surfing before Bernie's again. This will be the third one.
All
What?
right,
That's
excellent.
me. Anyways, so I have a question, and this is a legit question for the whole room and everybody. So all these taxes, if they spend money, obviously they're going to earn money because we're all fans and whatnot, but whose pockets get lined by all these fines? Is it the commissioner? Is it all the owners? Like, how does that work?
It goes back to the league. It's not about paying the bills. It's about penalizing teams. It's about trying to create
Parity.
Parity. It's same with the NFL. It's not about trying to raise funds to keep the lights on at the league office.
But it is a legal form of collusion. Like, it's something that the owners do legally in a collective bargaining agreement to tell players this is as much as we'll spend before we have massive penalties.
Yeah.
And the Celtics being ahead of this, what Wick said to us at Wachusett resonated because he said, I don't think there will be any team that spends 2 years in the second apron. And that means that they're not going to do it, and they're going to cut costs.
Yeah. Well, you better enjoy this one while you can.
Right.
So,